Hi friends, welcome back. This is Anne, author of hiddenfarmlife.com. We've just passed Thanksgiving. Our bellies are full, but maybe you're getting sick of those Thanksgiving leftovers. No worries, because I have some recipes for you today to get those leftovers out of your fridge, so stay tuned. So here's what we have left. It's a mishmash of things, but we're gonna make it work. I have a turkey carcass here. I took this, I made this in the oven. The wings are in here because nobody wanted wing meat, and the skin and the neck, and there's still a good bit of meat left on this carcass. So what I'm going to do with that, you'll see I have some celery here. That's involved with what we're going to do later. Remember that video that I made on stuffing slash filling? I have a nice little chunk of that. I'll show you what we're going to do. Have a few pieces of holiday ham here, and the turkey that was cut off of that carcass, and some mashed potatoes. So let's get started, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the carcass first. One of the easiest things you can do with a chicken, duck, or turkey carcass is make bone broth. And I'm going to utilize my tabletop electric roasting oven pan for that. So I'm going to take this carcass and I'm going to put it into my roasting pan and almost fill it up with water. And I'm going to turn it on about 250 or 300 and let it go. And that is going to turn into this very luscious and rich broth. I also put all of my veggie scraps in there and just let it become one while it's cooking. It's really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Using up 2 of those holiday leftovers, I have about a tablespoon of butter in my cast iron. I'm just going to swish that around, and I've cut up some of that holiday ham and I've minced it. I'm going to put that in the pan, move that around a little bit. I've also cut up a piece of that holiday filling. I'm going to add that to the pan and get that all nice and warm and cozy. And to that, I'm going to add 2 eggs that have been whipped with about a tablespoon of water. This makes them nice and light and fluffy. And then I'm just going to salt and pepper to taste. And then scramble until slightly cooked, like they're soft, but just cooked. And just like that, you've got your egg scramble. This really didn't need anything else because the filling already had celery and onions and the seasoning in it from when we made it for Thanksgiving. So all you needed to do was chop up the ham and the filling and scramble a couple of eggs. This is obviously enough for 2 people. I just put it on one plate to show you, but oh my gosh, I wish you could smell this. It is amazing. Continuing on, using up leftovers, I've got a couple tablespoons of melted butter in my Dutch oven, and I have chopped up a couple of onions, some celery, and some carrots. And I'm just going to put those in the pot and get them to sauteing just until they're tender. We're going to move those around. And I actually like to put the lid on it and let them sweat a little bit. I'm not going to add any salt or pepper just yet. I'm just going to let these cook. They are on medium, low medium, closer to medium, but low medium. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on and let those sweat it out. I want to show you the turkey in progress. And there is the whole carcass. I've put in some of the onion peels. I don't use the outside peel, I use the inside one. Right before you get to the meat of the onion, I use that one. So I've got a few of those in there, some older celery stalks with the leaves, because like I said, for the filling recipe, which I can link up below, they have a lot of flavor in them, and some baby carrots that I have no need for. So I'm just gonna let this go several hours until I feel like it's done. The vegetables were tender, so I went ahead and added, if you don't have broth ready, because I add broth to my vegetables, you can use some of the homemade bouillon, and I will link that video up above. This stuff comes in clutch when you don't have any broth ready. And of course, as we know, my turkey broth is not ready yet. So I did add some seasonings to this. Go ahead and add whatever you like. I added some onion powder and some dried parsley, salt and pepper. and I'm bringing it up to a boil. And as soon as that starts to boil, I'm gonna go ahead and add about a cup of your favorite milk. I am using almond milk because that's what I have. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that up to medium, and I'm gonna let that continue to come up to a boil because I don't want to use my thickener, which I have a slurry of arrowroot powder and some milk. I don't want to put that in until that's boiling. So I will see you right back here when it's boiling. The pot is now boiling. As you can see, there's bubbles coming up all along the side. So I'm going to continue to stir as I stir in my slurry. And I'm just going to put enough until I see that it starts to thicken, which you can see it's already done. The arrowroot powder thickens slower than if you used flour or cornstarch or something like that. It takes a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and add some more, and I'm just going to make it to the thickness that I want it. And my family, they like it to be really thick. So I'm going to go ahead and probably add all of that in. Get all of that out of there. And I am going to turn my heat back down to low because as you can see how that's starting to thicken up. And if need be, you can always add a little bit more milk or broth or water to thin this out. But I think we are right where I want to be. So once this is thickened, and I know it's hard to see because of the steam, that turkey that we had left over, I chopped it up, and we are just going to add that right into the pot and stir that in. And I am going to turn this off because this is pretty much done now. And you have turkey pie filling. I would put this in freezer bags and put it in the freezer in serving sizes. If you're gonna make a regular size, what's that, a 9-inch pie, you can, for a really quick night, you can put this in the freezer, pop it out when you have a busy weeknight, school night, meetings, parent-teacher meetings, whatever you have, and stop at the store and get a prepared frozen or one of those fresh pie shells, put this in and bake it, you're good. I mean, this wouldn't take long at all to thaw. You get it out in the morning before you leave for work, you come home, it's good to go. So we're gonna call this one done, and we'll move on to the mashed potatoes next. Let's get to those leftover mashed potatoes. So, I have what was in the bowl, and I've kind of chunked them up. When they get cold, they get a little stiff. So to this, I am going to add a couple tablespoons of melted butter, a good pinch, probably a teaspoon and a half of dried parsley, a shake of onion powder, and then a good shake of garlic powder. And I buy mine in bulk at the Amish store in the next county over. I'm going to add a good dollop, that's probably half a cup of sour cream, and this is just the store brand. And then I have some heavy whipping cream, probably 2 or 3 tablespoons. And then to that, I have some caramelized onions that I cooked up in about a tablespoon of butter. I'm gonna add those right in. And I'm just gonna mix all of this to combine. Once you have your potato mixture all combined, I'm adding some of this Cabot's Seriously Sharp Cheddar right into the potatoes. I grated that up, and I'm just going to stir that around, make sure it all gets mixed in together. And then I am using an 8x8 prepared pan. I just sprayed this really quickly. And then I am going to put this in here and bake this in the oven at 350. And I don't have a specific time for this. I just bake it until it starts to bubble. I will top this with a little bit more of that Cabot's cheese before it goes into the oven. And here are the potatoes. I've just taken them out of the oven. There's still a little bit of bubbling going on around the edges. All of the butter and cheese has melted. I'm gonna let this cool a little bit before I serve it. I don't want anybody to burn their mouth on this, but oh my, chef's kiss, this is good. And here is everything finished. The egg filling slash stuffing and ham scramble, so good. The, again, baked potatoes that were mashed with cheese and sauteed caramelized onions. The turkey broth, I am going to be using this for lots and lots of things. And the turkey pie filling, this will either go in my freezer or in the fridge for me to use probably very soon. That's it for today, friends. I hope you've enjoyed this content and found it helpful and useful. If you try any of these, please let us know in the comments below and what you think. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.